I've done lots of fishing in my life, but I don't consider myself to be an expert saltwater angler, although I'm learning. This week, I'm going to pass along several tips and pointers and techniques that I've learned over the last 4 or 5 years that have helped me find and catch redfish and speckled trout in backwaters and back bays inshore. Glad you're with us. Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hi everybody, I'm so glad you're with us this week. We are coming to you from a location I've never been to before. This is the welcome sign for Surfside Beach, Texas. We're down on the Texas Gulf Coast. Just on the other side of that sign is a beautiful beach with people playing in the sand and in the waves and the surf, but that's not where we're going. We're going in the backwaters, back bays and canals and ditches. We're going to try to catch some redfish and trout. Again, it's uncharted territory for me, and I'm going to pass along several different tips and pointers that may help you go out and catch redfish and speckled trout in the waters where you live. And to help us do that, I've got the Blazer Bay 2420 GTS. This is rigged out with all the goodies, all the nice toys, including my Mercury 350 Verado. It's custom rigged by Waypoint Marine down in Corpus Christi, Texas. They do a great job with all of our Blazer Bay boats. I'm looking forward to getting this out in the back bays. While we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for this week's fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays right where you live. Glad you're with us this week. Right now, we get things started back at the studio and your weekend planner.
Hi everybody, these Salooner tables are predicting good fishing both days this weekend. Look for the prime daytime hours to begin at 10:42 on Saturday and 11:45 on Sunday. Top evening action picks up late starting at 11:07 on Saturday and midnight on Sunday. Look for the sun to rise at 7:41 and set at 6:44. There will be a new moon Sunday, so nights will be dark this weekend. We'll be right back to check all of the current fishing reports from throughout the area. Plus, I'll return with 2015 Bassmaster Classic champion Casey Ashley on this week's Ask the Pro feature. We're coming right back.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's wireless and easy-to-use XI3. Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. Strike King, Taiwan On. Nitro Performance Fishing Boats, because champions aren't born, they're made.
Oh, good trout. Look at that trout. Holy cow, look at the size of that dude. There you go. We've made it down on the Texas Gulf Coast. There's one swimming with it. Welcome back, everybody. We're still here at Surfside Beach. I got him. Down on the Texas Gulf Coast, and I'm fishing this clear water. This feels like a better fish of some kind. Oh, good trout. Look at that trout. Holy cow, look at the size of that dude. Don't be scared. All right, we got a good one. Hey, look at this. Welcome back, everybody. We've made it down to the Texas Gulf Coast, and I'm out trout fishing today, and that one has got it down there pretty deep. Let's see if I can carefully extract that treble hook. Oh yeah, easy. Little treble hook and a nice trout. Well, there you go. We've made it down on the Texas Gulf Coast, and that's a good way to get it started right there. How about that one? Man, let's let him go back before we hurt him. Gently, right here. And away he goes. Okay. Man, yeah. How about that? Thank you, Lord. Well, let's get you oriented as to where we are. We are between Freeport and Surfside Beach, right on the Texas Gulf Coast. On the outside of that is the Gulf of Mexico, and there are about 3 different inlets where the Gulf water can exchange with the back bay water right here. There's one at Freeport, one at the Brazos River, and one at San Luis Pass, which is about 20 minutes north of here. All of these areas interchange Gulf water and fish from the Gulf. So you've got redfish that come in here to these back bays. This is the nursery. This is where they spawn. They grow up here. You catch a lot of small redfish here. In fact, I'll show you a quick shot of one I caught just a minute ago. But these are the nursery fish. These are the ones that are growing up. They grow up here and then they go out those cuts and they live and become bull reds, 40, 50 inches out on the outside in the Gulf, and you catch them off those jetties and the beachfront and those kind of places. The speckled trout, they live all over this entire system. Now, the particular area we're fishing is the old intercoastal waterway. This is the old waterway that was here before they dug the new one, which is just right over my right shoulder. In fact, you can kind of see a barge coming down the new one. Barge traffic doesn't use this old one anymore, but that's where we're fishing. I'll explain the area we're fishing and what's holding these fish right here, but we're off to a good start. This is a great place to come fishing. I'll give you all the information later.
Hey folks, Captain Greg Verm here for this week's Fox Southwest Outdoors Report. Hey, let's start this week's report in Matagorda. Man, I tell you what, both East and West Matty is hot right now for speckled trout. For the live bait fishermen, drifting with live shrimp under a popping cork is tough to beat. Look for your slicks and rafts of bait. Now your lure fishermen, hey, wade the shorelines early with top waters and then switch to your soft plastics once the sun comes up. Now the redfish, hey, they're tight to the shoreline and are biting well on live shrimp or live mullet. Now let's move up to the Tri-Bay area. Chocolate, Christmas, and Bass Trot Bays are seeing great bird action right now. Both specks and reds have been under the birds. Now I'm going to share a little tip for you this week. One great tool to have on your boat this time of year to help you locate working birds, hey, a good pair of binoculars. You'll be surprised the difference it will make. Right now, we're using both soft plastics and top waters under the birds. Now for our live bait fishermen, hey, you guessed it, live shrimp under a popping cork. Now the flounder action, it's getting better and better with each passing cool front. Cold Pass and the San Luis Pass is the place to be right now for your flounder. Hey, get out there and do some fall fishing. Great time to be on the water. If you want to do it in Freeport or Galveston, give me a call. I'd love to have you aboard. I'm Captain Greg Verm. I'll see you next time.
Right now I've got my bait drifting not only outside a little inlet and a little point, but it's drifting down a mud line. All that water draining out of that lake back there is muddy. And the water in the intercoastal waterway where I'm at is actually clear. There's a bite. And got him. I'm staying in the clear water. That bait was drifting right down this mud line. Maybe we can show you an overhead shot of it. I don't know if we can or not. But the current was taking it right down the mud line and something's bit it. It feels like a trout. Oh yeah, it's a decent trout. There we go. Mudline trout right there. He wanted to be in the clear water and he's just outside the mud. So there's another little key for you right there. We're giving you these little pointers and keys that I've learned. Again, I'm no expert and I haven't done this my whole life. But what I've learned, we're talking about, there you go, talking about this current, talking about these mud lines, and I've got one more little important factor that I'll give you coming up next. So hang in there. We've got a few fish working, figuring a few things out. I'm telling you, it's been a tough couple of days. We fished for a couple of days here trying to locate some fish, and it's been hard. But I think we're finally onto a little something. Let's see if we are. Nice trout for you there. All right, that is Surfside Beach, Freeport, speckled trout. Got him. Right off that point, right where he was supposed to be. Coming up. Coming up. That's got to be a trout the way he's coming up. Slide the net underneath him. Come on. There we go. There's a halfway decent trout for you there. Speckled trout. Well, I told you that we've got all three species in here. And there is the trout species. Oh, came off easy. A little treble hook. There you go. And a nice trout for you there. All right. That is Surfside Beach, Freeport, speckled trout for you right there. Well, still plenty lively. Okay, well, let me explain to you what's necessary to catch fish. No matter where you go in this area, anywhere from Brazos River cut through to Freeport, down to Surfside Beach, down to San Luis Pass, you are looking for current. Anywhere you've got moving water creates feeding fish. They're just suckers for an easy meal, and it's much easier for them to feed if they can get in a current break and let the food get swept past them. It's just like a rainbow trout in a Colorado trout stream. They get in those little pools, little eddies, and let the food wash by, and then all they've got to do is just sit there and open their mouth when the food comes by them. So what you want to do is keep driving, keep looking, watch your tide tables, and keep looking until you find current. Now, what I found right now is we don't have much tide working here. Here in Texas, we've only got a few inches of tide one way or the other. It's not like the Atlantic coast where you've got feet of tide and fast moving water. You're just looking for a little bit of current. So I'm in this old intercoastal waterway, and you can see all around me, I've got little points where lakes drain into the old intercoastal waterway. So there's a point right there with a lake coming in here. There's a point right behind me with several ditches and drains back in that marsh that are draining out this way into the intercoastal waterway, and there's current coming around every single one of those points. Find current anywhere along this Texas coast, even a little current, and you're gonna find fish.
Hey, shirt sleeves one day, a parka the next. This must be Oklahoma. But you know what? More predictable than the weather right now just very well may be the fishing. This time of year, with November staring us in the face, is the time when a lot of the bass go shallow, making them more accessible and great fun to catch. Now go with a finesse rig like a shaky head or a Ned rig and go to the shallows. Now if your lake is still up 2, 3, 4 feet, go to the flooded vegetation, but fish the old shoreline in front of that. If you're fishing a lake at normal or lower than normal level, go to the secondary points, but use exactly those same light finesse rigs. Pond fishing is also exceptional right now. I had a really good outing recently with grandson Archer. Did exactly that, rigging him up with a Ned rig inchworm, light sinker, light wire hook, let him cast anywhere he wanted to, and he caught a number of fun-sized largemouth bass. We had a great outing. You want to catch white bass right now? Look for the pelicans, look for the seagulls. That means there's shad close by. Swimming minnow, stroller, bluegrass colors are a great option for catching those white bass right now in Oklahoma in the fall. Bass fishing, white bass, crappie, you can catch them, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Louisiana Outdoor Report, coming to you from Calcasieu Lake right here at Cajun Paradise Charters. Tell you what, we're going to start off right here on Calcasieu Lake. Fishing is on fire. Lots of speckled trout, lots of redfish, flounder are starting their fall run. These fronts coming through, pushing the bait out the marshes. Trout underbirds, soft plastics or live shrimp, redfish feeding at the mouths of the cuts or even back in the marsh when the water's a little higher. Flounder, anywhere along the channel, find you a little point with an eddy. Tell you what, lots of flounder getting caught, soft plastics like jig heads. Also, talk about freshwater scene. Toledo Bend, lots of bass starting to get caught. Tell you what, this cooler weather's got them moving shallow. Doesn't have to necessarily be early or late right now. Buzz baits, spinner baits, top water, soft plastic worms, lots of bass getting caught. White perch, they're starting to transition from the deeper brush piles, doing some other things up in a little bit shallower water on live shiners. For Old Cajunville, Captain Kevin Broussard saying happy fishing, may God bless, and we're going to see you next week.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Mercury, Go Boldly. Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder. Balls Out, made in the USA. Heavy-duty mounts for your fish finders.
Bait fish in the area, ladies and gentlemen. You find the bait fish, you find the real fish. There he is. Good solid hook set. Bait fish in the area, ladies and gentlemen. You find the bait fish, you find the real fish. Let's see what I got. Oh, that's a nice red. Look at this. Whoa, screaming drag. Well, this is going to take a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everybody. We're still at Surfside Beach, Freeport, down on the Texas Gulf Coast. And that brings me to my third key point about finding these fish. If you're not familiar with the territory, I've never fished right here before, and I'm all by myself. find the bait, find the fish. It goes for freshwater, saltwater. And I think we're about ready to get a net under him. There we go. All right, there we go. That's a beautiful, do that. There we go. There's a nice one for you right there. That's a good marsh redfish. Again, this is the nursery, so they don't get a lot bigger than that before they swim out in the Gulf. That's a good one for this part of the country. Look at that beautiful color. See you, buddy. So here's the deal. Many times I'll just drive around and I'm looking for bait. I'm looking for one of several things. I'm looking for shrimp and mullet flicking around on the surface. That's the first thing. I'm looking for pods of bait herding themselves around. In fact, I want to show you some that have been running right along this marsh grass here. I think these are all mullet, just swimming along the edge, and occasionally something will blow up in those. But you find that. Those fish are smart. They eat for a living and they know where the bait is. So you get around that much bait and you know you're going to be in the area where the fish are. That's the third main key point, is find that current and then find that bait. And when you do that, you know you're around fish.
Hi everybody, this week's Lone Star Lakes is brought to you by the MC Ranch. Located near Bandera, MC not only has fantastic whitetail and exotic hunting, but they may offer you the best chance you've ever had at a double-digit bass in one of their stocked ponds. Now this week we're going to start at Lake Palestine and talk about blue cats, which are on fire. You'll want to fish shallow, but stay near deep water. Somewhere like one of the highway bridges is a good place to start. You'll use your prepared baits, you'll use your cut baits, and just back off from the shallows a little bit deeper till you connect with the cats. Now down at Fayette County, you're still finding the fish out fairly deep, 8 to 14, 15 feet of water over the humps and ridges and bumps on the bottom of the lake. You'll want to graph those first and look for bait fish being present. If you see bait fish, stop and drop either your Carolina rig or maybe a drop shot rig or even deep diving crankbaits. But keep an eye on these fish because they're going to start moving shallow soon as our weather cools off in the beautiful Texas fall. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by MC Ranch, a great place for a corporate outing or a wedding too. Look us up on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
I've got a bite. Take up the slack. Has he got it? He's got it. There we go. Trout, yeah, good one. That's a decent trout right here. All right, come on, baby. Come on, baby. There we go. Decent trout. Yeah, let's just swing him aboard. All right. There we go. We're still down here on the Texas Gulf Coast, and we're still, man, we are catching fish now. We've went a good part of the day without doing very well. Once we found them good, and we've been catching them all afternoon. Just a skinny trout that would easily be a keeper for you right there. All right, back he goes. And I want to mention something. You find that bait, you find the fish. I want to show you something. We caught a lot more fish than what we can put in a half-hour show. Trout, redfish, small ones, decent ones. The keys were find that current, find the clear water up against the mud line, and then find the bait. That's your third key right there. Find that bait, get around it, and you know you're going to be in the area where those fish are. You can catch them on plastics, you can catch them on top waters, but today it got real tough with that bright sun overhead. We had to go to live bait, and it really worked out well. We're in steady action all afternoon as long as we were around current, a mud line, and bait. Those three factors mean guaranteed fish down here on the Texas Gulf Coast. We're going to be back to wrap all this up for you in just a couple of minutes.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and the follow button on Twitter, and watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Request our free 2019 fishing guide at orangebeach.com. Lose, feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland, the best in bass and crappie lures, heads to tails. Glacier Glove, stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro segment, where viewers get expert insights from professional insiders. Reed wants to know, what are a few basic things I need to know and look for when I'm buying my first prop? For the answer, we asked MLF angler Casey Ashley.
If you want to be a speed demon, I would refer you to the Mercury Fury. Now, if you're going to be a stump jumper, like folks that live down in Louisiana, I might would go more the Bravo way. It's a 4-blade prop, it's a lot smoother, and it'll jump you out of holes. You can get in and out of those thick places. So knowing what you're going to use it for, that's the main thing with the prop. 3-blade, you get more speed. The more blades you put on it, the faster you're going to get up and out of the hole, but it's going to hurt you on the top end some.
Thank you, Casey. If you have something to ask one of the pros, simply visit our website and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now let's take a look at this week's Big Catch winner.
The Blazer Bay 2420 GTS has gotten us safely back to the dock, and it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. He is Michael Richardson of Livingston, Texas, showing a 115-pound yellowfin tuna he caught at Venice, Louisiana. If you'd like to be our next winner, go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fox Sports Outdoors. Go to last Tuesday's post. It's about the Big Catch of the Week. Follow the instructions to post your big fish photo along with all the details about your catch, and you and your fish might be shown on television. The gear that we used to catch the trout and redfish today was fairly simple. It begins with the Lew's Mock Inshore Speed Stick rod and reel combination. It is perfect for these inshore fish, flounder, redfish, and trout. I've got it spooled with 20-pound braided line, and I've got it rigged on a little Carolina rig. Now, as you can see, I've got a little small half-ounce barrel weight sliding up and down my main line. Then I've got a swivel. Then I've got about 18 inches of fluorocarbon leader, and on the end of that, I've got a number 4 treble hook. Pretty simple. And we caught all these fish on basically 2 live baits, live shrimp and live mullet. I got my college degree in broadcasting and took a lot of journalism courses in the process. Now, by no means am I an expert, but I am hypersensitive to how we use the English language, specifically how we spell and how we use grammar. On average, we do a very poor job in this country, and it's on display everywhere in social media, on marquee signs in front of restaurants and stores, and in all kinds of written and typed communication. There's no excuse for us not doing better. There's all kinds of tools out there. There are apps for our phones and our tablets. There's all kinds of spell check and grammar check for our computers. We can do a better job of spelling, using grammar correctly. We're very proud of this country, and we also need to be proud of our English language. I hope you enjoyed our trip here to the Texas Gulf Coast, Surfside Beach, and Freeport catching the redfish and speckled trout. If you'd like to make your own fishing trip to this area, you can contact my good friend Greg Verm. He runs a guide service here and in Galveston each and every day. He also does our weekly fishing report from the Texas Gulf Coast right here on the show. They've got the boats, the tackle, the bait. They've even got a great place for you to stay right on the water here in Freeport. You can contact Greg Verm, the information you see at the bottom of your screen. From the Texas Gulf Coast, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.